What's up, everybody? Yeah. All right. I'm terrified. I was going to do a little, kind of Zombieland warm-up rule, get you all clapping, but your wooden spoons have taken care of that for me. So thanks for that, Trek, Super Patriot, and Tharkus. Yes. All right. So here we are, DC Universe Online Keynote for SOE Live 2014. You guys ready to hear some cool stuff? Yeah. All right. All right, let's get right to it. All right, first thing we're going to do is go through a little bit about what we've done since last year we talked to you, and this clicker is not working. Yay. The clicker is broken. Here, I'll just do heat vision on Superman. Bird licks his face. He has no hair. Oh, no. All right, is it working yet? No. Restart this clock. It's not fair. Is this? Yeah. All right, there we go. Hey, are you advancing it for me now, or is mine? Try it one more time. All right, let's see. Yes. All right. Major updates and features since last year. We launched on the PS4. All right. It was a huge, huge accomplishment for us. And PS4 has been wonderful for us and wonderful for the game in general. So we're really happy about what we were able to do to prepare for the launch of the PS4, address some long-standing things that we wanted to address in terms of our early progression, and just fixed a lot of bugs. In fact, we did a lot of loot changes as well during this level up process, and how we actually are granting you guys loot, listening to your feedback, and kind of really getting into how you want to progress for the time that you put into the game. Feat unlocking. How many of you have been using this on your alts? Yeah? Sweet. All right, makes the altaholic's life a little better, doesn't it? So that was a great feature that we added. Also, weapon mastery. Really cool way for if you didn't want to be a clipper and start hiding all those animations and see what your character is doing and feeling that power in the animations that we have put into the game, weapon mastery is for you. It's all about timing instead of speed. Just a really alternate way of playing the game, and I think it's been a wonderful thing for roles too in groups, so that everybody can do a little more damage and require a little less power. Combat revamp, something we did, went smoothly, perfectly, right? Yeah. You all loved it. All right, great, yeah. That's something we did last year, and took care of a couple of things that were causing some imbalance problems for us, and really tried to address balance as a whole across all the powers and weapons in the game so we can move forward from a point of stability. Armories, yeah! I just want to say, finally! It was like 2 years ago or something like that I announced these things. So armories are in the game. Real game changer, complete game changer for DCUO. You can really set up your own stuff. You know this, you love these things. They're awesome. We love them too. And more features to come on armories. I'll talk about those a little later. Amenities on the marketplace for your bases. We just realized this was ridiculously hard to get these things in the world if you wanted to try and do all the collections and everything like that. Some of them are a little too rare, and people were totally, putting those things up for billions on the marketplace or something like that. So now you have the ability to just cut to the chase and make your lair exactly what you want it to be by just getting these things directly. Teleporters, also another feature we wanted when Home Turf first launched, but we had to push off. These things are awesome. Now you understand why that generator's been sitting in the bottom of your base this whole time, right? We had some plans for that, and it was really dealing with these teleporters and with the armories. And finally, league halls. Yeah. I think this is one of the coolest features we've added. Again, something we talked about so long ago when we first, like 2 SOE Lives ago, and it just really took us a while to get the vision that we wanted together and to put it out there. How many of you have statues of yourselves in your league halls already? Yeah? Nice. Raise your wooden spoons and show me. No, I'm kidding. It's okay. Maybe we need a wooden spoon weapon so you can have that on your statuary. That'll be good. All right, let's talk about DLC recap here. We launched 4 of them since the last SOE Live. We had Sons of Trigon was the first one. We then did our first trilogy that I announced last time, War of the Light Part 1. Moved on to Amazon Fury Part 1, and obviously Halls of Power Part 1, which just released. The small versus large thing is something we've been tweaking with, as you know, since DLC, since Sons of Trigon and War of the Light Part 1 came out. We've really been listening to feedback on what people want to play. Last year, I kind of told you guys about how many people played raids versus alerts versus duos and all those kinds of things. But the community really spoke out and really wanted some more raids. So we are definitely going to be having a raid in every DLC going forward. There's going to be 8-man content for you guys to enjoy. We really focused on what kind of combat rating you would need to get into the DLCs as well. And this is specifically because we go that kind of larger, smaller cadence. If you only wanted to play one kind of DLC, we wanted to make sure you didn't have to play the one in the middle. So our combat ratings really allow you to play 2 DLCs out of the tier. It could be the first and the last. Good luck with that. That's going to be really hard. Or it could be the second and the fourth if you wanted to. However you really want to do it, you can choose which 2 you want. Of course, a lot of players just play them all, especially if you're a member, because you get access to all the DLCs anyway. There was a lot of feedback about completing these things too fast, especially from the gear front. When you were, with DLC 9, you're later in the tier, and you just have so many options to actually get these marks, and people were dissatisfied with that. So we just recently announced the symbols as a compromise. Well, actually, first we announced a different kind of mark. How'd you like that? Yeah, okay, so we went to symbols instead, along with the other mark. And that seemed like a good compromise for everyone, and we'll see how that goes and make adjustments accordingly. But we like that plan right now, and we'll see how it goes with Halls of Power Part 1. Content difficulty. How many people were really surprised at the results of survival mode when we put it in? 16 people in the community completed level 10. 16! That's a crazy small number, okay? But there are a lot of people out there crying for this kind of difficult content, and we wanted to meet that challenge for you. So Locke, where is he? There he is right there. And developer Jeff Richards, who I don't know his forum name, actually. Jack Frost worked very hard to put this together for you guys. It was a really tough effort, and it had really great results. And we're going to keep adding those as we move forward. We have another one planned for you, which is going to be Sons of Trigon themed, or I should say Trigon themed. Of course, you'll see the Sons in there. We're looking forward to putting that out. And as far as raids go and difficulty goes, it is really important that we make sure that the content in the DLCs is accessible to the people that aren't the survival mode crowd, which is a vast majority of the players in the game, to tell you the truth. So along with survival mode, we're going to be making sure that at least one raid in the DLCs is going to be of a very hard difficulty, okay? Probably not round 10 of survival mode difficult, but very difficult compared to the other DLCs, or sorry, the other content in the DLC. All right, so there's a recap of those. Let's move on. Look how many characters we added in the last year since last SOE Live. Shout out if you see one of your favorites up here, okay? This actually isn't an exhaustive list. Superboy, we got to hear Superboy? Yeah, please, that's right. Hey, look, we added 2 planets to the game, Mogo and Ranks. That's pretty cool, right? So here are all some of the characters that we did. These are just the iconics. They don't even include all of the supporting characters and the minionators that you stomped into the ground in the various environments that we added to the game. So a lot of really cool stuff, and you can look forward to more going forward. Our whole point with the trilogy is to be able to add more characters to the rosters and then be able to add a few in each of the trilogies and suddenly expand each of the cast of the certain kind of lores and iconic characters that you see so they can be used in larger stories in the future. So the trilogy structure is working out really well for us, and you can see by how many characters we were able to add and leverage. Community, that's you, look at you. All right, let's talk about you. Dev discussions. We've been been really focused and interacting with you guys on our forums and over social media and things like that, okay? We started in February a work in progress section in the forum where we try and kick ideas out to you that are either in progress or we're just tinkering around with, maybe even haven't started on yet, and get some opinions from you. Do a little gut check for ourselves and how this is going to go over with the community, and maybe get some ideas that we didn't think of or consider in the past. A great example of this is the symbols that we just came up with. So dev discussions, we had about 14,000 posts in the work in progress forum alone. That's not even including the test forum or the dev discussions that we have once something goes live. Just work in progress itself. 14,000 posts corresponding between devs and players. And that's awesome. We love that. We're going to keep doing that in the future. Live streams. Teed Stoon leading the charge on that one. Give it up for Teed. Where's Teed? Hi, Teed. He hates me now. So the live streams, we've done 42 FNLs this last year. That's a lot of FNLs. We've done 16 player-driven tournaments. Thank you to Super Patriot and Daddy-O, wherever you guys are out here, for organizing those. Those are a lot of fun. And we've taken those standings, and they're actually rolling over for our tournament that we're doing right here. So everybody, clutch. I don't think you should have sat in the front row, because there's like a million targets right on the back of your head right now, people looking to dethrone you. It's been really fun doing those tournaments, and we've had about 1,000 people, over 1,000 people contributing in those tournaments. Or I should say, not uniques, but there's been 1,000 entries in seats and players. Some of them have repeated, but that's a lot of plays in the tournaments there. So a lot of fun. If you haven't checked them out, tune into FNL when we do them. They're a lot of fun to watch. You might learn something about Legends PvP that you didn't know before. Could be fun. State of the game. The state of the game is good. It's real good. Yes. All right. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. PS4 patching. When we first launched PS4, we didn't have differential patching. Or I should say they didn't have differential patching. So every time we needed to do a fix in the game or do an update to the game, you had to patch the whole darn thing down again. That was frustrating, right? Not fun. So that's changed. We now do differential patching for the PS4, so download times are a lot quicker. We've fixed 60% of the open bugs that we had in the game that you guys have reported. That's a big chunk for us to do, and keep doing the amount of content that we're putting out as well to keep you interested in having fun in the game. That's a great portion. We look forward to continuing to squash all those bugs in the next year. Performance improvements on the PS3, we have far fewer client crashes, like far fewer client crashes, thanks to wonderful improvements that our client team has made, and I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Much better frame rate. Voice chat improvements. Who's been dropped from voice chat here before? Really? Only that few? Awesome. Well, it's even less now, because in 90% of those problems we worked out with Vivox have been fixed. So league chat shouldn't be going down, voice chat shouldn't be going down anymore. You guys should be having a lot better experience with your voice chat. Yeah, you gotta be able to communicate with people to play this game, right? There's a lot of complicated stuff and coordination that needs to go on. Coming in GU40, PSN disconnects. A lot of people think that when they get dropped from the game, it's actually the game crashing. And this isn't always the case. It is sometimes the case, but it isn't always the case. Sometimes, actually, there's a policy that's been in place that we've been unable to do anything about, which is literally if you get disconnected from the PSN network, we have to drop you from the game. That's a terrible policy, and we've worked with our partners over at Sony to change it for you. So you will not, come GU40, be disconnected from the game just because you logged out of PSN network. So you should find a lot fewer disconnects on that regard as well. And one of the things that makes those kind of infuriating is the lack of link death. We've tried to put that in several times and have had technical issues with it in the past, but we think we've worked that out. In GU41, you're going to have link death now. So if you do, for some reason, disconnect for any reason, you should be able to get right back into the instance you were in or where you were at in the game with your friends. It should hold your place. And PS4 entitlement caching. This is really focused on our PS4 crowd. Really what it was, you notice if you play on PS4, when they do maintenance, the game might come back up for everybody else on PC and PS3, and they're logging in, but you're stuck on the sidelines for hours after that for some reason. And that had to do with this entitlement caching. That's underway and getting addressed as well. So that should be a thing of the past very soon. And speaking of soon, we have a PvP revamp underway. Yeah, this is specifically for arena PvP for the most part, okay? And it really is a goal to try and make our arena PvP a little bit more like our Legends PvP. You know, when you have healers, controllers, and tanks in your group, the match can go on forever without a score or a knockout, and it's really exhausting and frustrating to try and, get a score sometimes in these matches. So we're going to be addressing that, and Tunso's going to be talking about it on his PvP panel this weekend, so please do attend that. Even if you haven't been interested in PvP in the past, you really might want to hear what's going on here, because I believe it will get you interested in trying it out. Stat banding is a really great thing for newbie players, so they don't have to be aware that they need to get special gear. We're going to automatically kind of put you up at the bottom of the ladder even if you go in your PvP gear. And we're doing some new stuff with the gear. Everything's getting streamlined. And Tunso will talk about that a lot more in his panel. I don't want to steal his thunder. If it was Locke, I would totally steal his thunder. But it's Tunso, and I don't want to do that. OK, splitting DLCs into component parts. Ooh, change. Yes, change. So what does this mean? Typically, we would release DLCs in these big, huge packages. They would have something with a player package. They would have content for you, like levels and instances for you to play in, gear that you could earn, maybe Legends characters, basically a whole mess of features all put into one deliverable. If one of those features was running behind or late, it would log jam the entire thing, and you'd have to wait for it all the time. And it put a lot of pressure on us as far as the scope that we could focus on for each of those deliverables and the polish, and we wanted to alleviate those problems. Now, for what that means is we're going to actually split these things up into component parts. We're not going to be releasing them on day and date with each other. We're going to release them when they're ready at different cadences. So you actually might get some levels and instances that would come out with the gear for you to earn, and then maybe a month or two later, you might get a Legends character, and a month after that, a Legends character, and a month after that, maybe a player package of some kind. Which we'll talk about in a minute. So all these things will be more frequently delivered to you instead of all in this one burst. So there's going to be a lot more for you to do and play with and explore on a more frequent basis. If you are a member, you will notice no difference to what you get out of the game other than when you get it. Okay, you're still going to get access to all these things individually. If you are a free-to-play player and you like to do a la carte purchasing, you can choose which thing you want without having to buy the entire DLC if part of it doesn't interest you. So this is a great way for us to deliver you more variety of content. The other thing, too, I want to mention is typically if we ever did anything that wasn't with the theme of the content, people would scratch their head and go, what does that have to do with this? And so we were constantly kind of trying to think what Legends character fit with this storyline and what superpower fits with this Legends character. And it really made it so that we couldn't always address the requests that you had for what you want to see added to the game. And so by splitting these things up, we can pick and choose if we want to do something that's themed around a certain, several-month window, or do something that's just departing from that and give you something completely different that you've been asking for. So let's talk about each of these parts, okay? Go. Legends characters. How many Legends characters do you think I'm going to announce right now? 2. 1. 6. 3. Higher, Bob. 6. All right, shout out if you see a favorite that you've wanted to see for a long time here. We're going to tell you A. I expect some tweets going out right now at hashtag Deathstroke for Legends, because he's right up there on the bottom left of your screen, okay? Awesome. 8 characters, okay? I already showed you a little bit about Kyle Rayner. He's going to be wielding dual rings here. We'll talk about that tomorrow in the panel, green and blue. Guy Gardner, red and green. He's going to be a hybrid lantern. Then we're doing Green Arrow right after that. Everybody's been saying, when's Flash coming? And I said, well, when we're done with the ones that we have planned, and we have all the way planned out to Deathstroke, we will do Flash. So that's why Flash is coming a little later. We got Green Arrow. I mean, everybody's been requesting Green Arrow and Deathstroke, so those are coming. Shazam, Black Adam, Gorilla Grodd. Does that sound awesome? Yeah. All right, good. I'm glad you like it. I'll be talking about 3 of these guys tomorrow. Is it tomorrow, the panel? Or Sunday? Sunday, sorry. Sunday at the Legends panel. Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner, and Green Arrow. I'm going to be going through them in a bit of detail. And I'm also going to talk about a new feature coming to the game, which is Legends PvE. We are actually going to be adding this to the game. Do not fear, this is not Iconic Anomalies or Iconic Visions, if you are a hater. I know there are some people that love them and some people that don't like them. This is actually going to be something different. So come to my panel on Sunday, and I'll be talking about this with you guys. That's all I'm going to say for now. Oh, come on, there's so much more. Put down the spoons right now. Okay. Trilogies. War of the Light Part 2. So we have all this prismatic mist in the city. It's affecting all these iconics, infusing them with this energy and drafting them into these cores, so to speak. We're going to learn what's going on here. We're going to learn about these mists, okay? They're actually the entities themselves. And you and Hal Jordan and Sinestro are going to have to relight the spark of the lanterns on Cord, Zamaron, and Oa. Star Sapphires are coming into the game. Carol Ferris. Check out Wonder Woman. She's been misted by the violet mist. And Orange Lantern's Larfleeze making an appearance, and Lex Luthor's getting the orange power armor.
Nice.
So that's why I was saying, Chris, that you might want to, that Lex Luthor armor you didn't get done, you might want to spray paint it orange for next year, okay? There you are, all right. So you're going to be going to Cord, like I said, Zamaron, and Oa, the central power battery on each of these planets. So really cool stuff going on. And the Star Sapphire is playing a big part in this DLC. Iconic armor. Sorry for the little pixelation in there. That is not an aura. Okay, that is an error in the projector or something. I don't know. But we are going to actually put this Star Sapphire armor out, and as you can see, we're going to be revealing a little more skin in the game. Okay. Why is this important? Well, a lot of you in the community have been asking us for some more revealing costume options, and we are going to meet that request with armor like this. And you're also, you know, the skin choice that you have in the game is also very important. I mean, it can be like lizard, or it can be cat, or it can be rock and stone, it can be astral or water, and you cover it up all the time. And if you want to actually have that option show, there are very few options for you. So we are going to be taking that into consideration and really moving the pendulum to the other side for a little while in terms of some of the costume options that we have for both our male and female characters, and showing some of those skin selections that you can make for your character. Amazon Fury Part 2. All right, people like to read into hints that they think I make all the time. Okay? And I had said we will be going in Part 2 and 3, we'll be going to great depths and great heights. And instantly someone was like, Atlantis and water powers. He said depths. That's like under the water. No, it's Hades, okay? We're going to Hades. And here's the god Hades himself, and a concept that we have of him. And he's going to be joined by Ares, quintessential foe of Wonder Woman as well. What the two of these have to do with the plot that has driven Hippolyta to create this civil war amongst the Amazons and siege Gotham City will be revealed in the DLC. But guess who else is going to be making an appearance? Zeus. No. No. No, this guy's coming back. This guy's coming back. So they're attacking the bottles in South Gotham, right? See what this guy does with that to take opportunity to get back down in the Nexus. Can you say Origin Crisis 2 someday? All right. Halls of Power Part 2. I'm not going to say too much about this right now, other than the Darkseid's quest for the power of the old gods is going to be continuing. But I'm just going to say this. Orion's coming onto the scene, so that's going to be awesome. So I bet you expected to hear about parts 2 of each of the trilogies, and I'm not even going to go into part 3. That would be getting ahead of ourselves. But until next SOE Live, we'll be exploring these trilogies. But I did want to give you a little teaser about another trilogy that we are talking about, and the theme that we are talking about after we get done with these. One of the trilogies we are going to do, going to feature these guys. Who's the spiky guy in the middle? You guys want to see some Doomsday in the game? All right, good. Yeah, okay. It's just, no, you cannot put Doomsday in Clutch's hands. That's just a bad idea. It will not go well. Legends will break. Okay. Movement mode variant. What is it? No. Woo. Aerodisc, skimming, okay? So it's based on this guy. It is a flight variant, all right? It is not a new movement mode. It is kind of a skin off of flight, but it is different in terms of how it looks. It is basically a vanity choice for you. So if you want to be a flyer or if you want to be a skimmer, You're not going to be dealing with any kind of necessarily tactical or power differences or anything like that, but you can certainly fly different than other people. And we have a lot of plans for our movement modes going forward, which I'll get into at the end of the keynote. And this is basically going to be based on flight. There's shared races. You'll still use the flight races. There are no additional feats, so if you've already done your races and done your feats and you want to respect to this, you don't have to do them all over again. This is really just for vanity purposes. Okay. What are my superpowers? Our client team has freed up some memory on the PS3. Go client team, okay? So we're going to do 3 more. I'm going to talk about them tonight, today, right now. One's going to be a controller power. One's going to be a healer power. What? Then another healer power. No, tank. It's tank. Totally tank. Totally tank. Okay. All right, let's get into these and see what you think. Munitions. What is this? Based on Sergeant Rock. Okay. Conventional weaponry kind of style coming to the game. This is going to be a very run and gun kind of style. You're going to be blowing stuff up. You're going to be pulling out rocket launchers and bringing them to bear on the field. Okay, so very kind of traditional Men of Valor, Sergeant Rock kind of feel going on if you want to create that kind of military-like character in the game. All right, what's next? What's a power everybody's been asking for a pretty long time? Aside from freaking water. Atomic. Atomic. I heard it right here. Atomic. Coming to the game very soon. Kind of based on this guy. No, wait, really. Kind of based on this guy. Okay? Kind of. It's more like Nega Firestorm, okay? So Firestorm can't really, why would I want to, how would we make a healing power for a guy whose his power touches organic matter and it like kind of annihilates it and obliterates it? He can't really do anything to it. But he can to himself regenerate, manipulate his cellular structure and things like that. So we're just going to flip him on his head thanks to the power of exobytes. When you get your actual atomic powers, you're going to be able to do things like Firestorm can do to himself to other people. It's going to be healer, damage, stances, obviously, molecular manipulation, maybe some radiation mechanics, chain reaction kind of stuff. This is all very TBD right now because Tunso and Spord and the systems team are still conceptualizing a lot of this. They have a very good idea about what they want to do for munitions, but we wanted to give you a bit of a creative look at atomic and the next one I'm going to talk about, which is experimental serums. Yeah. The heck is that? Well, there's a lot of kind of characters in the DC universe that will get their powers from ingesting things, right? Elongated Man, Hour Man, Bane. What's this all about? Well, tank damage, physical. This is our interpretation for a physical power set. We're working on grappling tech so that you can grab other players. That's going to be pretty cool. You're going to be able to inject yourself with serums. Maybe you want to actually push a lot of serum into your system and get the benefit out of that, or you want to do mixtures where you're going to get power interactions from mixing all these serums together. So that's going to be really cool as well. So 3 new powers coming to the game. We'll let you know when they're going to release in a couple years. I don't know. We'll see. What about water? Well, it's wet. Water is very wet. Now, I don't want to sit here and start spewing other stuff, giving you hope for other things that we want to do, whet your appetite for stuff. You know, I know you'd love to hear more about it, but I don't want to stretch the truth about some of the other things that we're talking about these days. All right, just really want to do, as a last slide here, an update on the status of our UI. You know, when we were launching PS4, we kind of touted that there was going to be a new UI coming to the game, and we shut that down before PS4 launched because it wasn't quite ready to go. We're targeting performance. We want a better performance out of our UI, less laggy, just snappier. We want to make sure that it has better usability, better flow, and just a better layout in general. We are at the wireframe stage here. Okay, we're literally just doing wireframe mock-ups right now. I don't have much more news for you other than the fact that we are still actively working on this, and we really want to get it right and make sure that everything is intuitive and streamlined as possible. And we all know that it needs improvement in that area. And also, something that's probably not as well known to you, it's very hard for us to implement new systems because our production-facing concerns with UI are very cumbersome. So we need to make a system that's easier for us to implement, more modular, so we can get more features out faster that require UI, and have them be have a set standard of usability for you guys. All right, this is one of the last slides that I'm going to do. It's the future, okay? Or what I like to call my wish list, or what I like to call promising league halls 2 years ago and not having them show up until now. Okay, let's talk about some of these. Sidekick customization. Going to let you customize these little buggers and give them a unique look so you can have your own Robin, okay? Shorty pants, if you so choose. Armory updates. You know, with the next GU, or this GU, sorry, we have finally put in style selection for your off weapons when you do the weapon mastery combos. Before you had no selection. We wanted selection when you launched, but we couldn't get to it. But the gameplay engineers have finally gotten to it. It's a great system. You'll be able to select whatever you want in terms of what weapon you want to show up. But we have more on the horizon for these things that we want to do. We want to make respecking armories a lot easier and streamline that selection so you don't have to do the whole thing over again. Or if you make a mistake, or if you added one more point here and you want to do these changes, or you just want to change a style on something, it's way too cumbersome right now, and we're going to fix that. And we also want to get to a point where we can have you save alternate body types in these things so you can get your Shazam on. Yeah, wow. PvP leaderboards. Nice. This is much needed. There needs to be some tracking going on here in order to, you know, people to feel this sense of accomplishment week in, week out, month in, month out. So we're going to be adding those to the game. Scoreboard revamp. Scoreboard sucks. It needs to tell you more information about the usefulness and the help you get from other roles, okay? It's not all about you and your scoreboard damage number on the top. There's a lot that went into making that happen for you, okay? And we want the other roles to be able to celebrate that as well. We also want to give you better feedback on the kinds of things that you achieved and got during your run in that instance. So we're going to be making a major focus on revamping the scoreboard and the information it tells you there. League content. We want to get league missions into the game over the next year. Block's giving me the big I don't know. 2 years?
Like you, I wanted it with launch of league halls.
I know, there you go, we'll see. Anyway, league content, things that the league can actually work on together where you have meta goals and things like that. So it's not all just about donating the prestige and getting some of those specializations out of it. There's actually going to be things that you can do over a month or a week and collaborate as a team to try and achieve these goals. You know, one example of that, what we really want to do some more things with the security area. You know, like trophies you might have. Did you lock up Mr. Freeze because you completed that league mission arc that you guys have, and he's sitting there in your security wing for a little while until he's going to break out, of course. So they always break out. They find a way. Movement mode appearances. I was kind of mentioning this earlier. I would love it if you could be a mental acrobat and have TK beams coming out of your hand to do that grappling instead of just the actual grappling. So we actually want to focus on bringing your superpower into how you move into the game. So not just the speed force stuff coming out of you of your super speeds, or maybe some flames, or maybe some leaves or something. Yeah, see, like perfect. So acrobat, right? You could actually have the vine lash come out. Every power has a beam. Why not actually put that on the grappling hook so you can actually customize your character in different ways like that? Multi-mode arena types. We're limited in this area right now. This is PvP focused, but we can only do one kind. You can do either capture and hold, or you can do capture. We can't do both. It would be interesting. We could have more varied arenas if you could actually do both. Leave a node, still score points, go over and have to camp on this one. A lot more options and tactics we can add. And then finally, base PvE. We want to actually make your base a center for PvE content, much like we are kind of doing with League Halls. But the League Hall stuff right now is being used in a specific DLC. We want to make something that's a little more organic and event-based for you, maybe themed on a certain faction per month that might be invading your base based on other things that you're doing. So we want to actually bring some content into your lair for you. So those are some really cool things on the wish list. You guys like that stuff? Yeah. All right, cool. Let us know how you feel about it on the forums. All right, so that's all I have for the keynote, but I did want to take a moment. Some of you may or may not know, Dead Meat has left the team just before we launched the PS4. He took a job in New York City because he wanted to live in New York City. And he did a great job for us, and we really miss him. But we couldn't ask for a better replacement for our new head of studio. Meet Pez Fedora, Mr. Josh Hackney.
Hi, I just want to go ahead and say hello. Tell you guys a little bit about myself. I've been in the industry for about 16 years. The last 4 have been specifically with SOE. Most recently, I just came off of PlanetSide 2. So very excited about coming out to Austin and working with such a fantastically talented team. In my past, I was over at Activision, worked with Vivendi and Atari, and big console player. Love developing on it, so I'm really excited about the PS4. It's fantastic. We're having a lot of fun with that. And it's just been great to be out here and meet everybody. I'm going to be around for the rest of the weekend. Feel free to swing by, ask me any questions you want, and have a great show.
And he is Pez Fedora on the forum, so if you see him posting, that's him right there. All right, so we want to open it up for Q&A. He was supposed to stay up with me here for the Q&A, but he has conveniently left the stage.
I don't want you to get lonely.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right, Curse. Actually, hold on. We got a microphone somewhere for this, right? Eric? Yeah. Where, are we lining up?
Hello? We're actually going to line up, yeah.
Okay, if you have a question, line up over here. All these chairs and tables, they mean nothing. Just come over to this side of the stage.
Andre.
Everybody needs a little bit of
Stairs?
exercise here and
Yes,
there.
exactly.
No walking going on.
Try and trample lock on your way.
He's going to destroy your office. Look at that.
Boop. So this is going to be fun. So Jens is going to pick 2 questions that he likes. So make them good questions, and you're going to win a prize. So let's go. Here we go.
So with the base PvE, are we going to have more base layouts that aren't so PvP centered?
So the base layout itself isn't PvP centered. It's just that we actually took advantage of the base layout and did PvP to fit it. The reason that the bases actually are one uniform floor plan and why the amenity slots are locked down where they are is because when Home Turf initially launched, we actually intended to have this base PvE, but we weren't unable to get to it. And so some of the restrictions that you guys have been commenting on are because we actually want to do content in there. And if we are doing content in there, we really need to kind of have the uniformity of the actual floor plan. It's just for production reasons and design reasons for us to keep the scope down if we actually want to do that type of content. So we do, and to be honest with you, the themes, they're okay. I mean, not a lot of people necessarily go after the themes. They seem to be satisfied with the ones that they get for free. But maybe that's because it was too hard to actually get the amenities unlocked, and that they didn't necessarily feel the need to get a deed and buy, get another base. But now that teleporters, armories, and amenities on the marketplace are in, we have the League Hall system, which was always intended that I didn't want you to have to do chores in your League Hall and your base, and your lair in order to have both. That's why lairs actually contribute up to your League Hall, so you can just spend time working on that and be contributing to the main hall of the group. So we'll see. I don't think we're going to be doing new layouts anytime soon. If we do, we would probably put it on the wings, off of those archways, and then maybe those would close down and lock down the doors during the content. But we'll see. We're still tinkering and going to do prototypes on it. Yeah, thanks for the question.
Hey, Tharkus, USPC Villain. So I saw on your wish list, you were talking about armories and the ability to do body types, so you could Hulk up or Shazam or whatnot.
Yeah. What? We can do what? Shazam up?
Shazam
I like
up.
that. That's good.
Yeah.
Great.
I know something a lot of people would have been talking to me about. They would love to also see personality traits in armories. So you could, for example, if you Shazam up, you could be the silly jokester, and then you could be the really serious Shazam.
Sure. Right.
And,
No, it's a great idea. Larry, you should write that down. That's good. That's good.
Don't give me that look.
I'm just looking at you.
Christiana, USPC. Two quick questions. The first one was you mentioned about the UI revamp, how much work you guys were putting into it for stability and everything else. Now, is there going to be any change like in combat for the amount of information that it presents as part of the team? Because right now, all it shows is like our teammates' green and blue bars. We have no idea if they're debuffed. We have no idea if they have a buff or if there's any type of status effect on them at all until someone calls it out in TeamSpeak, like I need a cleanse or I need something else. Are there any
Sure, I'll
plans
take
for
that one.
Josh has been really active in the UI stuff, so I'll let him do that.
So when I came in, and I played at launch a little bit, and then I came in December, and I was really frustrated with the UI and the HUD and navigating around to begin with. So I jumped in, and I've been working with the team directly, and they're doing fantastic work. Actually, within the next 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I think, we're going to actually put out our first work in progress on one of the layouts of the UI. One page in particular, it's going to be a character sheet. We're going to add one more page that's going to be hopefully a one-stop shop for what is most interesting to you about your character. It could be what's added, what's going on with your league, your progression, or what's happening with the events and other information like that. And as we move forward, what we'll do is we'll be adding more and more up in the work in progress and give you a layout and an idea of what we're going, and give you an opportunity to give us feedback and stuff like what's happening in the HUD, in the group HUD, what you're missing and what you like to have added in there. We'll definitely be listening for those kinds of things.
Combat log and buff and debuff icons and stuff like that.
Sure.
Check engine lights, kind of going away. Going to get a little more sophisticated in that.
And
Tunso, cheer. Come on, where is he?
second question.
Sports should be taking notes for that one.
Second question, this has been asked a lot over the last couple of years, is when we'll be seeing things like new body types or hairstyles or general things like that.
So body type has actual perf restrictions due to PS3 and stuff like that. Sorry, PS3 players, I'm not trying to vilify, but we can only have so many. That's why we had more before we were going to launch, and we had to cut down. So that's just a fact we have to live with. Hairstyles are a different thing altogether because they are very complicated to do with all the different kinds of gear that we have. So the second something interpenetrates because you did a combination and you want your hair to be just so flowing off the side, and you put these shoulder pads on and you're so angry with us because the hair doesn't go over the shoulder pads anymore. It's just really complicated for us to try and work that out and make sure that it always looks good. And that's why haircuts in the game have a certain set style to them, or they disappear altogether if there's a conflict. So we'd like to get to that, but I think we have some more experimenting we would need to do in order to get it right. We have heard the request for the Amazonian hairstyles. We know. We would love to get those in. We'll try. Okay.
Is there a way so that when you preview an item, you can view it vertically? Like when you look at a rug, you can't see it at all.
Yeah, that is kind of annoying, isn't it? Yeah. I'm sure there's a way.
There's always a way.
It's when is the when, I guess, if we could do it. So, yeah, I hear you. It's kind of a...
It's just adding one more axis of rotation, right?
Yeah, because I have to open a tab in Chrome and look at it, or...
Yeah. I'm sure that could be or something we could take into account when we're doing our UI revamp, because it's going to deal with controls as well.
Town Bully USPC. I got a very micro question. Is there any chance we'll ever get a second supercharge for acrobatics that does maybe support or offensive status? All the other two movement modes both have 2 supercharges, and acro only has 1.
I don't like to never say never, but I would defer to Tunso on that simply because, they have plans on trade-offs and all kinds of things like that. So did you want to answer that real quick, or?
Yeah, if you have any you can catch me after this
So for Twitch people at home, his answer was catch me after the show. I can talk to you about the feedback because we're always looking for that kind of feedback for those things.
Hi, it's John Knoll, US PC, PlayStation 4. My question is for the Legends PvE content, will the Legend characters actually have like roles?
So come to my panel tomorrow.
Okay.
I mean on Sunday.
That's
Sunday.
twice you did that.
Yeah, come on Sunday. Don't come tomorrow, I won't be there.
Michael Grid, USPC. This year, DCUO was a part of Batman 75.
Yeah.
In a pretty big way, and you have expressed that you kind of missed the ball with Superman and said that you guys had some plans for a catch-up or a belated birthday card for Superman. Is that something you can talk about here?
Probably not, because we haven't really talked about it much. I mean, we have a little, just bandied around. I mean, I gave, where's Eric, a suggestion at lunch today, as a matter of fact. But also, we have Flash's anniversary coming up right after Batman, so I think people will expect us to do something for that. So we're just going to have to really examine where we could fit it in. Yeah, but did I tell you I got some new puppies? I love my little dogs.
We all love your puppies.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eric.
Move along.
The hook here.
But yeah, just sorry.
Wait, Michael, come up here and show your shirt to the people at home. Oh, can they see him?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
So we only have about 5
Thank
minutes,
you.
so we may not get to everybody, and I'm very sorry. He talks a lot, so no.
Yeah, try and keep your one question each.
Also, I'm giving this guy a prize because he
I was gonna do
showed
that.
up.
I was
Yeah,
totally ahead
I
of you.
jumped the gun
You
on
stole
you.
my
Well,
thunder.
I'm the one that tweeted out
All right,
that our
go
players
ahead.
need to show up like this to represent tonight. And
Yeah.
there you go.
Black
You win a HyperX flash drive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cool.
So I have two questions.
No, one question.
Okay, so you're talking about all these cosmetic things. I'm curious about faces because we really only have 2 different face styles, and not including the skins, of course. Do you plan on adding any more?
That's good feedback. I'll have to investigate and get back to you on that one. You can ask another question.
All right. And my second question is, I noticed all these heroes and villains with rings. Maybe you're going into Black Lanterns, maybe?
Why would you, of all people, ask a question like that?
Oh, I don't know. I'm more of a yellow lantern.
Oh, are you? Oh, well, you would fill a gap that they have over here. They need a yellow lantern. Yeah. Get out of here before I say too much.
I am a magician. I play on USPC. So I promised a forum member that I would ask this question, and I felt this was appropriate. Phoenix wants to know if you're going to bring in Phoenix wings, so we can have a...
Okay. Here, let me see the camera. I just want to talk to Phoenix. Is this the one that's on Twitch? Okay, right over here. Okay, Phoenix. We're going to take that under advisement. You want flaming wings. Totally get it. I know Sora supports you. Any winged character, bird, person out there would like some more wings. Yeah, we'll look into that. We'll look into that.
My one question, right? So, thank you for the Wonder Woman spin animation. Is there any possibility, since we've got the Batman spoke bomb linked to the armory, that we can have our Wonder Woman swing, and maybe that,
Hold on.
as Trex pointed out, a better Superman swoop in, swoop out to change for your armory?
I seriously
Link to your
wasn't
mentor.
listening. Say that. Say that one more time. I can't tell you the looks of like, are you crazy? When I said I want him to spin. I want him to spin when they change. They looked at me like I was nuts. Thank you for saying that. You're the man. Give him a prize, please. I want him to have the other one.
Well, last year I wanted some sort of power look with the movement mode, so I'm happy to hear that you're going that way. But
yeah,
the Wonder Woman's spin is now in.
Oh, so armory customization.
It's right now Batman Smoke Bomb, but
sure,
if you're a Wonder Woman mentor or Superman mentor,
yes,
you've got the swoop in, swoop out animation already.
It's absolutely something we've talked about in the past. So it's definitely on a backlog list for us eventually. We do as armory customization. I'm not saying it's above like the respecking fixes and things we want to do like that, but it is definitely something we had requested initially that we couldn't get to. So it's on our minds. We want to have that kind of customization. We want to have you lift up off the ground and even put the special effect that you want on it so you can have that lightning bolt come down and do those kind of moments. We want that transformation to feel unique to your character.
I was trying to suggest a link to the mentor, but yes.
No, I honestly, I would rather not have it locked in. If we're going to put that system in there, I would rather have you choose what you want it to be and open it up.
Hi, Bumbling Bee from USPC.
What's up, B?
Hi. A little while ago, you were on Odyssey Lockbox, and you talked briefly about power feed and controllers. Is there a scope on when that would be potentially promoted?
On what?
The power feed and the way power is fed through the group, where there's the controllers are not just a power battery.
I think I was talking about weapon mastery back then.
That's what.
I think I was making a reference to one of the weapon mastery features.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And but you can talk to Tenso after, but you know. You're no longer battery.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is going to be the last question. You can probably catch these guys after and catch up.
Hi, long-time EQ2 player. I've tried to make the transition a few times to play into DC Online, but I've always had a problem with the movement because you can't customize the A and the D key to turn. They only strafe. Is there a reason why, or are they ever going to be able to change that?
I don't know. It was like 8 years ago or something we made that decision. I don't remember if there was a reason we did that.
We can definitely look into it. We can definitely look into changing that.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm just trying to think if there was a reason we did it. I don't think there was, other than.
Yeah, it baffled me at the time because I'm like, well, surely I can just custom it, but you never could. So it's.
Yeah.
I've always tried for a while, and then kind of phase out and go back to playing EQ.
Sure.
If the key bind is the one thing that is kicking you out, we can definitely look into it.
Well, I think you should. Yeah.
All right.
All right, cool.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, and appreciate it. We'll be here the rest of the weekend to answer your questions. Really quick though, before we cut off, I do want to have the dev team stand up really quick and say hi to you guys, and really let's give them a round of applause because they've done so much. And to all the developers back in Austin that didn't get to come out in SOE Live, you know, they work really hard to try and bring you the best experience possible in DCUO, and we really appreciate you as players. And thank you so much for coming and checking out the keynote. We look forward to spending more time with you for the rest of the weekend. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.